Hello everyone, Jesse Webb, TradersPro. Excuse me. The current market conditions, bullish in a bear market. We're at that negative 6.6, so continuing to trend a little bit higher here. We're seeing nice buy on the dip scenario, which we've been talking about for the last few days. We're seeing the overall profile of the trend still bullish here. Relatively, we've been moving back and forth inside of this current momentum trend, which is what we want to see. We want to stay inside of this range. We're okay with it moving up into this range, but as it moves up strongly up into that upper range where it's becomes an unsustainable trend, then that can create a little bit of a pullback. So we were up in this range here, and we've now, during this counter trend move, we've kind of pulled back inside of this range. So this is really the acceptable range of trend that we want to be able to look for as far as the market is concerned. In terms of looking for our bias, remember, we want to come into the market saying, what's our bias for the current market conditions? If they were down here, we would say, no, we're going to either use a bearish strategy or we're going to be in cash. We're going to do something that is not bullish. And so there's definitely strategies that we can focus on. There are going to be pockets of stocks that are moving higher no matter what the market conditions. And so that's why following that new buy list is also important. The breadth indicator is still positive. It's still strong. It's not overly strong like it was back here. It's kind of dipped back down a little bit. So we are seeing a little bit of not quite as much strength in this current trend, but that's okay because we're not at an extreme level, and so we're just getting the majority that's moving higher. We're seeing sentiment that's also moving higher. So as you come into this direction alerts page each day and look at it, it's simply to look for the bias. We know that we're in a downtrend. We know that we're working through that downtrend in the long term. That's the long-term perspective. Then we come down to the short-term timing signals, and we know that what we want to see are these three working together. We want to see momentum with the breadth, so we're getting current momentum price action with the overall breadth of the market. How many companies in the S&P 500 are participating in this uptrend, and that's 68 represents 68% are participating in this uptrend. So it's not really strong still. Some of that pullback, we've seen some stocks lose some of that strength and turn back into that trending or even a downtrend type of move on breadth. Sentiment is also moving higher. Sorry, I'm scrolling through that a lot. I know that may be a little bit frustrating, but it's the only way I can show you that information. The sentiment, we're sitting not an extreme, so that's what we want to see. A little bit of a pullback. Momentum is pulled back, and we're seeing now we're inside that buy zone. The current muscle stocks list, and again, the reason why we call these muscle stocks is because they're strong stocks. These are the strongest leading stocks. Here, there's the muscle stocks group, and then there's also the new buy group, which is ranked or sorted by rank. And so we can see the strongest new buy. It's got a 99% strength rank, and it's got a new buy signal. So in terms of our overall trend profile, it's very quick to glance. You can glance and see, yes, we're outside of or potentially outside of the muck, okay, this trending or this non-trending counter trend move. And what we want to be focused on is the green. Okay, so the yellow and the red we're not so concerned about. We're not interested. We want to participate when this trend is green, and as the earlier the better. And so the way that we utilize that first bar, we want to have this first bar as our confirmation. So now we're in that overall move, in that overall trend. That allows us a location to set our risk. We can set a stop loss right at the low right here. A stop loss essentially is that line in the sand. Where am I going to get out of this trade if it doesn't work? So that setup is very quick. We can glance through and see it's a strong stock. We know it's 99. We know it's got a good bullish profile, and it's moving outside of this range. And again, those, they don't always work, obviously, but this is the methodology that we're focused on, is looking for the stock that's working on a new trend and inside or just beginning that early stages of that buy trend. So as you're reading through the charts and the software, that's going to help you understand what you're looking for. Simply then we can just scan through and scroll through to the next stock. You can glance up here and see what kind of a sector or industry that stock is in. And again, it's a nice trend profile here. Good confirmation bar on that stock. Next stock, PLL. You're getting a breakout here, which is also good, so you can click out and look to see a little bit longer time frame and see if it is breaking out. PLL, Basic Materials, is having, at least it closed on the breakout, so that's a good confirmation signal there as well. Again, risk could be established, stop loss either at the low of the bar or the low of the most recent trend. You can decide, again, then it's just simply deciding how many shares am I going to buy. And when you set up a portfolio, you can actually add your portfolio here. You can add it to a portfolio, and whatever portfolio I've got, then I can determine the number of shares that I need to buy by simply saying, okay, I'm going to be inside of this portfolio. If I've got 100,000 and current price is at $72, and I'm going to buy 100 shares of that, and my stop price over here, let's say that my stop is at $65. That's my exit point. That's my cutoff. If it starts moving against us, I don't want to participate in it at that point, because that's where my risk is. It's moving the wrong direction. So at what point am I going to bail on that? So that 65 stop price is my bailout point. So now I'm at $7,000 in this trade. Where did that go? $7,000 is my amount in this trade. If I buy 100 shares at $72, so that's putting 10% at risk. If I get stopped out, that's 10% of my trade. So I have a 10% stop on the trade, which is $750, or $750 of my $7,000. Okay, but that $751 is only 0.74% of my 100,000. So that's my portfolio that I have at risk. So now I know what my risk looks like. If I get stopped out of this trade, it moves the wrong direction, I'm out $750, and can I live with that or not? That allows you to at least set up your risk parameters on that. So that's a little bit of instruction on the setup. So we're simply looking for that process, and this is just scrolling through the new buys, and you can decide which one you want to take a look at, which one's going to work. Maybe you're looking at the biomedical or biotech world. One other quick strategy that I want to just mention is using one of the strategies I teach in the Premier Suite package is called a Muscle 10 strategy. You can access that by signing up. The link below will get you full access to that. But the Muscle 10 strategy, essentially you're owning the top 10 stocks of the Muscle stock list. You can also do that with any of the indices. The Dow, I do a Dow 10 strategy as well, which is simply looking for if I were to go to the indices, I go Dow Jones Industrial, and I go whatever is in this buy list. It may be more, but if the top 10, there happens to be 10 right now, then I'm going to buy the top 10 of the Dow in the buy list, and that's it. And if one drops out, I sell it. If one adds in, I buy it. But I'm only holding the top 10 buy stocks of the Dow. That's going to give me Exxon, Walmart, right now, American Express, Goldman, Boeing, Apple, Microsoft. Okay, so those are the leading stocks of the Dow. Why own the losing stocks of the Dow? There's no point in that. Okay, if they're in a downtrend and we're looking at Dow Jones Industrial and there's 7 stocks in here and they're all to the downside or moving lower, why own them? There's no point. I don't want to wait that out. I only want to participate in that in the winners. So there's multiple strategies and ways to be able to do that in terms of building and creating a portfolio, and you can do all of that in Premier Suite. So if you want to access full access to that, sign up with the link below, and look forward to having you. I've got a bunch of other trainings inside the members area, inside the Learning Center, and that'll go through and talk in more detail on these strategies. Have a great day today, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.